Liberal Viewer presents.
So I often suspect that despite the fair and balanced slogan and the claims to be presenting the news, the people who work at Fox News must be aware of their partisanship, which was why I was somewhat surprised last week to see Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly react with such sensitivity just to the bare implication that she was presenting a side when a guest accused her of presenting a false dichotomy between public employee pensions and local government services, as you can see from her response in this clip.
I'm not presenting anything. I'm giving you the other side's argument.
Of course, Megyn Kelly's claim there that her role on Fox News is not to present a particular side just doesn't stand up to scrutiny, and I've already made more than a dozen videos showing Fox News bias from Megyn Kelly, but just for fun, I thought I'd watch the rest of her program that day just to see if she'd give another example of her partisan role on Fox News, and I wasn't disappointed when, just a few minutes later, Megyn Kelly came back to supposedly moderate a discussion between left-wing radio talk show host Leslie Marshall and right-wing radio talk show host Lars Larson, previewing President Obama's State of the Union speech, which Megyn Kelly introduced like this.
All right, panel. So, the president's going to get out there and say we need to invest. We need to invest in particular in infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, and in education and in technology. And that has prompted some on the right, Lars, to come out already and say invest is a synonym for spend. And what we should be doing now is focused like a laser on the debt and not spending more.
Now, in that question to Lars Larson on the right, Megyn Kelly just presented the right-wing talking point I'd heard all day on Fox News leading up to the President's State of the Union address, in which Fox News anchors tried to obfuscate the distinction between investment and other kinds of spending, even though most people know from their own personal budgets that there's a difference between investing in your future on things like a college education or a computer compared to just spending your money going out to dinner and a movie. But let's see if Megyn Kelly actually presented the other side when moving on to ask a question of Leslie Marshall on the left here.
Leslie, you've got some groups coming out now, in particular this one that's running an ad now, talking about how it appears the president is going to be ignoring, for the most part, the need to cut back on spending tonight, saying it appears that the era of Washington's fiscal irresponsibility will continue. And they point to, the call for more spending on things like infrastructure by noting that, the stimulus bill of 2009 already included almost $50 billion on money for infrastructure. And then in September, President Obama called for an additional $50 billion on spending on infrastructure. So how much are we supposed to spend on infrastructure as opposed to paying down some of the debt?
So it seems whether Megyn Kelly is asking questions of the right or the left, the side she's presenting always seems to stay the same, as it did again when Megyn Kelly asked Leslie Marshall the follow-up question you can see here.
But why, Leslie, would he not be focused tonight on tightening our belt, tightening our nation's fiscal belt, given the debt and the deficit situation that we're looking at, and given the message he seems to have received from the voters on November 2nd?
So again, the other side for Megyn Kelly always seems to be the same side, and she failed to redeem herself when she returned one more time to Lars Larson, just teeing him up with this question.
Go ahead, Lars.
So I guess Megyn Kelly couldn't find the other side again when it came to questioning her fellow conservative, and just in case you think she ended up fitting in the other side somewhere in her conclusion, you can see how that segment ended here.
Well, he is supposed to speak also about the need to avoid piling on more debt. The question is simply whether, those messages are consistent and whether he'll put forth policies that the American people believe can do both at the same time. We'll find out in a few short hours. Leslie and Lars, thank you.
Thanks, Megyn.
So despite Megyn Kelly's claim to just be presenting the other side, she always seems to end up presenting one side, the right-wing Republican Fox News side. And again, for more than a dozen other examples showing Fox News bias for Megyn Kelly, you can just click on this playlist. But even with all that evidence, I'm just not sure if Megyn Kelly is intentionally lying when I watch her say,
I'm not presenting anything. I'm giving you the other side's argument.
So what do you think? When Fox News anchor Megyn Kelly claims to just be giving the other side's argument, is she only lying to us, or is she also lying to herself? And regarding the overall dishonesty at Fox News, would it be so bad if the people at Fox News just came out and admitted what they do for a living is make right-wing propaganda instead of news?
YouTube, you decide.